Deuteronomy chapter 3. Og defeated. On turning back, we went up the way to Bashan. Og, the king of Bashan, and all his people came out to give us battle in Edrei. Then the Lord said to me, Do not be afraid of him, because I have given him into your power, together with all his people and his land. Do to him what you did to Sihon the Amorite king, who ruled in Heshbon. And the Lord gave Og, the king of Bashan, and all his people into our power. We struck him down and left him no survivor. At that time we took possession of all their cities. There was not one of them that we did not capture from them in all 60 cities, the whole of Argob region, the kingdom of Gog in Bashan. All these were cities fortified with high walls, with double gates and bars, besides the innumerable unfortified cities of the Perizzites. We placed them under curse of destruction, killing all the people as we had done with Sihon, the king of Heshbon. We wiped out all the cities, men, women, and children. The only things that we spared and kept for ourselves were the livestock and the plunder from the cities. At the time we took possession of the land occupied by the two Amorite kings, the land beyond the Jordan from the river Arnon out to the mount of Hermon. The Sidonians call it Hermon-Siron, while the Amorites called it Senir. And we captured all the cities on the plateau and all the region of Gilead and the whole of Bashan, as far as Selakah and Edrei, cities in the kingdom of Og in Bashan. Og, the king of Bashan, was the last survivor in the race of the giants. His bed, which was of iron, was 4.5 meters long and 2 meters wide, and can be seen in Rabbah, a city of the Ammonites. Allotment of the lands. At the time we took possession of that land, I gave to the tribes of Reuben and Gad half of the hill country of Gilead with their cities from Ariel situated on the river Arnon. And I gave to the half-tribe of Manasseh the rest of the hill country of Gilead and the whole of Bashan, kingdom of Og, the whole region of Argob. The whole land of Bashan was called the land of the giants. Jair, son of Manasseh, took all the region of Argob out to the boundaries of the Geshurites and the Maccathites, and he gave his name to these cities, which until today are villages of Jair. I gave Gilead to Machir, and to the tribes of Reuben and Gad. I gave the territory from Gilead out to the river Arnon, with the middle of the river as the boundary, and up to the river Jabbok, the boundary of the territory of the sons of Ammon. Its western boundary was the river Jordan in the Arabah, from the lake of Chinnereth down to the sea of the Arabah, known as the Salt Sea, as at the foot of Mount Pisgah. At that time I gave you these orders. The Lord your God has given you this land to be your own. But every one of you fit to fight must cross over, equipped for battle ahead of your fellow Israelites. Only your women, your children, and your livestock, I know you have numerous livestock, will remain in the cities which I have given you, until the Lord gives to your brothers a place where they can rest as he has given you, and they too may possess the land which the Lord your God is giving to them on the other side of the Jordan. Then each of you may return to his own inheritance which I have given you. Moses forbidden to proceed. At the time I also gave the following order to Joshua. You have seen with your own eyes what the Lord has done with those two kings, and he will do the same to the kingdoms where you shall go. You shall not be afraid of them, because it is the Lord who wages war for you. At that time I pleaded with the Lord, O Lord my God, you have begun to manifest to your servant your greatness and the power of your hand. For what God in the heavens and on the earth can do such deeds of power or prowess as you have done? Do not let me cross over and see that fertile land on the other side of the Jordan, that splendid mountainous country and the Lebanon. But because of you the Lord was furious with me and would not hear me. And the Lord said to me, That is enough, speak no more of this. but climb up to the top of Mount Pisgah, and from there look to the west and to the north, to the south and to the east. You shall see the land, but you shall not cross over the Jordan. But give orders to Joshua, encourage him and strengthen him, because he will be the one to lead his people across and apportion to them the land which you see. Therefore we remained in the valley opposite Beth Peor. Deuteronomy chapter 4. A response demanded. And now, Israel, listen to the statutes and norms which I am teaching you to put into practice, so that you may live to enter and take possession of the land which the Lord, the God of your fathers, is giving you. You shall not add anything to what I command you, nor take anything away from it, but keep the commandments of the Lord your God as I command you. You have seen with your own eyes what the Lord has done at Baal of Peor, and how your God exterminated from your midst all those who became followers of Baal of Peor. But you have been faithful to the Lord your God, are all alive today. But you who have been faithful to the Lord your God are all alive today. See, as the Lord my God ordered me, I am teaching you the statutes and the norms to put strictly into practice in the land you are going to enter and take possession of. Observe them and put them into practice, for this will show your wisdom and prudence in the eyes of the peoples, who when they come to hear all these statutes will say, indeed, this great nation is a wise and prudent nation. For in truth, is there a nation as great as ours, whose God are as near to it as the Lord our God is to us whenever we call upon him? And is there a nation as great as ours, whose statutes and norms are as just as this law, which I am placing before you today? But be careful and be on your guard. Do not forget these things which your own eyes have seen, or let them depart from your mind as long as you live. But on the contrary, teach them to your children and your children's children. You stood in the presence of the Lord at Mount Horeb when he spoke to you. Assemble the people before me, that they may hear my words. Thus they will listen to fear me as long as they live in the land, and will teach their children to do the same. Then you came nearer and stood at the foot of the mountain. It was burning in flames, reaching up to heaven itself, amid the dark milky clouds and the intense fog. And the Lord spoke to you from the midst of the fire. You heard the sound of words, but did not see any figure. You only heard a voice. And the Lord revealed to you his covenant, which he commanded you to put into practice, that is, the 10 Commandments. He then wrote them down on 2 slabs of stone. And as for me, he commanded me to teach you the statutes and norms, that you might put them into practice in the land you are crossing over to take possession of. Warning against idolatry. Be very much on your guard, for you did not see any form on the day when the Lord spoke to you at Mount Horeb from the midst of the fire. Therefore do not become corrupt. Do not make for yourselves a carved statue, that is an idol shaped in the form of a man or of a woman, or in the form of any animal that lives on the earth, or of any kind of bird that flies in the sky, or of any reptile that crawls on the earth, or of any fish that lives in the water under the earth. When you look at the heavens and you see the sun, the moon, the stars, and all the heavenly bodies, do not prostrate yourselves to adore and worship these. The Lord your God has left those for the rest of the peoples under heaven, but he has chosen you and has brought you out of the fiery crucible, that is Egypt, to be his own people as you are now. On account of you the Lord became angry with me, and he swore that I would not cross the Jordan, nor enter into the fertile land which the Lord your God has given you as an inheritance. I will indeed die in this land and not be able to cross the Jordan. You in turn will cross over and possess that fertile land. Only be careful not to forget the covenant which the Lord your God has made you and do not make a statue representing any living being, as the Lord your God has commanded you. For the Lord your God is a devouring fire. The Lord is a jealous God. When you have had children and grandchildren and have grown old in the land, do not become corrupt by making statues representing any living being, thus doing what offends the Lord your God and provoking his anger. I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that if you provoke his anger, you will surely and quickly vanish from the land which on crossing the Jordan you are going to take possession of. The Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and only a few of you will remain among the nations to which the Lord will drive you. There you will be obliged to serve gods made by human hands, gods of wood and stone, which do not see or hear or eat or smell. From there you will seek the Lord your God, and you will find him if you search for him with all your heart and with all your soul in the midst of your anguish. When this happened to you in the last days, you will return to the Lord your God, and you will listen to his voice, because the Lord your God is a loving God who will not forsake you or destroy you, or forget the covenant he swore to your fathers. Ask of the ages that have gone by, inquire from the day when God created human beings on the earth. Ask from one end of the world to the other, has there ever been anything as extraordinary as this? Has anything like this been heard of before? Has there ever been a people who remained alive after hearing, as you did, the voice of the living God from the midst of the fire? Has there ever been a God who tried to choose for himself a nation from the midst of another nation by the strength of trials, by signs and wonders, by war, by a firm hand and an outstretched arm, and by tremendous deeds of power, as those done for you by the Lord your God in Egypt, and which you saw with your own eyes? You have been shown all this that you might realize that the Lord is God indeed, and that there is no other besides him. He let you hear his voice from heaven, that he might instruct you. On earth he let you see his blazing fire, and from the midst of the fire you heard his words. Because of the love he had for your fathers, he chose their descendants after them, and he himself made you leave Egypt with his great power. He expelled before you peoples more numerous and strong than you, and he has made you occupy their land. Today he has given this to you as an inheritance. Therefore realize today that be convinced that the Lord is indeed God. There is no other in heaven above and on the earth beneath. Therefore observe his statutes and his commandments that I enjoin on you today, so that everything may be well with you and your children after you, so you will live long in the land which the Lord your God is giving you forever. Moses designated 3 cities at the other side of the Jordan on the east, where one who unintentionally killed his neighbor, who has never been his enemy before, may find refuge. He could flee into one of these cities and so save himself. These are the cities: Bezer on the desert plateau for the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead for the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan for the tribe of Manasseh. Now this is the law which Moses promulgated to the people of Israel. These are the decrees, the statutes, and the norms which Moses enjoined on the people of Israel after their departure from Egypt on the other side of the Jordan, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, in the land of Sihon, the king of the Amorites. This Sihon, who ruled in Heshbon, was defeated by Moses and the people of Israel after their departure from Egypt, and they took possession of his land as they had done with Og, the king of Bashan. The 2 Amorites kings ruled on the east of the Jordan, from Aroer on the bank of the river Arnon out to Mount Sirion, that is Hermon, including the whole plain to the east of the Jordan, up to the sea of the Arabah at the foot of Mount Pisgah. Psalm chapter 72, Prayer for the King. O God, endow the king with fair judgment, the royal son with your justice. May he rule your people justly and your afflicted ones with fair judgment. May the mountains bring prosperity for the people and the hills justice. May he defend the cause of the poor, deliver the children of the needy, and crush the oppressor. May he endure as long as the sun and as long as the moon through all generations. May he be like rain falling on meadow grass, like showers watering the earth. May justice flower in his days and peace abound till the moon be no more. May he reign from sea to sea, from the river to the ends of the earth. May his foes be crushed before him and his enemies lick the dust. May the kings of Tarshish and the islands render him tribute. The kings of Sheba and Seba bring gifts. All kings bow down to him, and all nations to serve him. He delivers the needy who call on him, the afflicted with no one to help them. His mercy is upon the weak and the poor. He will be their protector. He rescues them from oppression and strife, for their life is precious to him. May he live long. May gold from Sheba be given him. May people always pray for him, and blessings be invoked for him all day. May grain abound throughout the land, waving on the top of the hills. May its fruits flourish like Lebanon, thriving like the grass of the field. May his name endure forever. May his name be as lasting as the sun. All nations will be blessed through him, and he will be blessed by all peoples. Praise be the Lord God of Israel, who alone works such wonders. Praise be his glorious name forever. May the whole earth be filled with his glory. Amen. Amen. Mark chapter 13, verse 21 to 37. If anyone says to you at that time, "Look, here is the Messiah," "Look, he is there," do not believe. For false messiahs and false prophets will arise and perform signs and wonders in order to deceive even God's chosen people, if that were possible. You must be on your guard. I have told you everything ahead of time, the coming of the Son of Man. But in those days following the distress, the sun will grow dark, the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall out of the skies, and the powers in the whole universe will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory, and he will send the angels to gather his chosen people from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the sky. Learn a lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its branches become tender and it begins to sprout leaves, you know that summer is near. In the same way, when you see these things happening, know that he is near, even at the door. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all this has happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But regarding that day and that hour, no one knows when it comes, not even the angels, not even the Son, but only the Father. Be alert and watch, for you do not know when the time will come. When a man goes on a journey and leaves his home, he puts his servants in charge, giving to each one with some responsibility, and he orders the doorkeeper to stay awake. So stay awake, for you do not know when the Lord of the house will come, in the evening or at midnight, when the cock crows or before dawn. If he comes suddenly, do not let him catch you asleep. And what I say to you all, stay awake.